It's Chris Knight with American Raw, showing you guys some footage of our bench press session last week. This was our week 2 of meet prep. With our bench, on this workout, we worked up to a 4x4 at about 80% of our 1 rep max. Due to the fact that this is a meet prep or a peaking type of training cycle, really focusing on our form, keeping the elbows tight as possible, driving the shoulder blades into each other and into our back pocket on the bench. None of us are really good at arching necessarily on a bench and setup, but we do practice applying plenty of leg drive to be as tight as we can during that press. So the focus is the movement itself and kind of just getting the muscles firing in order as we start to accelerate the amount of intensity and the amount of weight that we're moving. With these guys, the Kilo Kings, we tend to goof off quite a bit in between sets. We keep it lively, that is for sure. It's all in good fun. It's just to help motivate, enjoy ourselves. If you've done a powerlifting peaking type of cycle, hitting the main lifts over and over, day in and day out, it can be pretty grueling, especially as the intensity starts to pick up. So having fun always helps. This is my final set here with 405 for 10. If I feel good, and I would advise this to any one of you guys, if you feel good and feel confident and you kind of want to push a final set or a final movement, I say go for it. I would do within reason. No reason to injure yourself in the process, but if you can push some extra reps and your body's you're feeling it, I say go for it. You gotta listen to your body. Those of you who have followed along with my blog on the strength programming that I've written for myself, I like to include a secondary movement after the primary movement of the day. So the movement of the day is bench press. Our secondary movement is going to be a squat, and in this case, a variation of the squat with a pin squat. With the pin squat, all we're trying to do, and to be honest, we should have lowered the pin a little more just to acclimate proper depth. But the idea is to get the weight off of your back at the bottom of the lift and re-accelerate that weight back up and really dig into the muscles and try to emphasize that bottom portion of the lift, which is the weakest part. So we just kind of worked up to what was comfortable for sets of 5. In this particular set you're watching, Giles kind of went for it. He's feeling good, so I think he knocked out 8 on this one, which is pretty impressive with 4 plates on there. To be honest, this pin squat session was pretty brutal. We were all kind of dying towards the end of these working sets. On my final squat, I wasn't really feeling very confident. My legs were pretty shot from previous day's work. I've been putting a lot of emphasis on my lower body this training cycle, and decided just to keep it with the 5 sets of 5 as prescribed. I am a big fan of just maintaining your work. If you set an agenda, just sticking to it, rep for rep, set for set. I do believe it pays off in the long run. Farrell here, squatting more weight than I had anticipated him squatting. As you can see towards the end here, he's getting pretty whooped, and the form's breaking down a little bit, but the kid's got a lot of heart and wouldn't back down, wouldn't lower the weight, decided to grind through it beltless just to get as much work as he can in that short time frame. That was a good set. Our final movement of the day was back to the bench press, which was our emphasis for today. And in this exercise, we are using a slingshot. Those of you who are unfamiliar, slingshot's it's a device developed by Mark Bell, Slingshot Company. You can check it out online. It assists with the movement, kind of forcing your elbows in, maintaining good form through the bench press. By stretching that fabric over your chest, it allows kind of a deload at the bottom portion of the lift, kind of letting you overload the movement, getting some extra reps in, extra weight in, just extra work, period. So once we started fatiguing towards the end, this is a great way just to get some additional reps in our hands and add a little bit extra weight. So I worked up to 5 plates on this last set. Definitely fatigue was setting in. It did not feel pretty, but we're early enough in the peaking cycle where we're just trying to get work in, trying to get reps in on our bodies, trying to get them used to the stimulus of heavier weight. A lot of goofing off with these guys. It's a lot of fun. These guys are a lot of fun. Very entertaining. American Raw. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, another day, Killer Kings, American Raw. We did bench press with some squats that were fucking unbelievable. Then we did some accessory work. This shit was outstanding, man. I'm beat. We did this shit all day. My boy Farrell, my boy Mar Giles, and Chris Knight. Wife's nigga so close to me. Anyways, so